Bowl season is here. Are you ready to cash in on what you know? Where you play is as important as what you play. The pros play at mybookie.ag. All the lines, odds, and plays, both college and pro, all at mybookie.ag. Play where you get paid super fast and there's never a hassle. Step up and mybookie.ag will match your deposit with up to a 50% bonus. Use promo code JJ50 to activate the offer. Don't leave the money on the table. mybookie.ag, promo code JJ50, and your first deposit is matched up to 50%. Play where the pros play because they get paid. mybookie.ag.
And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head the dirt. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me a boom.
He is Jalen Anthony Rose.
What up, though?
I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in.
Together, we're Jalen Jacoby on ESPN2 and ESPN Radio. What do?
We get the people what they want.
Jalen, two of your favorite people of all time have been long in a feud. Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas, for various different reasons, which we will get into, have been at odds for years. Feels like decades. Well, they've reconciled. Let's watch.
You are my brother. Let me apologize to you if I hurt you, that we haven't been together. And God is good to bring us back together. All right? I know, man. It hurt me too.
First and foremost, both of those gentlemen were my childhood idols.
I think I'm going to cry.
And it didn't stop when I became adult.
I'm definitely going to cry.
They both still represent that in my life. So many people as athletes get recognized for their accomplishments on the floor. And yeah, we can talk about the Pistons' back-to-back championships and Magic's championships in college and in the league. But I tell you, I just follow those guys otherwise, in business, in media, trying to be an owner, trying to be a professional. These gentlemen's big smiles, the way they're philanthropic, giving back to their community, family-oriented leaders. And for me to see these two guys, as somebody who grew up following everything they ever said and did, there was a period in my life where one day I had to pick sides. Like, wait a minute, Isaiah ain't on the Olympic team? Like, hold on, what's going on? And so, like, I have had periods in my life where I feel like I was going to be a person to help establish what you guys saw yesterday. So for me to actually see it take place, and I'm not going to hide from the second part of this, to also be mentioned. They called out, Magic and Isaiah called out C-Webb and myself.
Yep.
To reconcile, to see eye to eye, and to be on the same page. But I have to say something that I don't truly think people understand that has taken place under the Fab Five dynamic and us not necessarily seeing eye to eye. It's not that I and Chris Webber aren't seeing eye to eye. It's that four of us are seeing eye to eye, and when you see the Fab Five documentary, he doesn't contribute. When you see us at the Final Four, we're sitting together, and he's not with us. Do we need to squash it? Of course. It's silly. It's dumb. We never had a true argument. Now, there have been times when I've seen him out publicly, and he tried to slander and be rude to me, but I just kept it moving. And like those two gentlemen, we've been friends for so very long that everything that I've accomplished and or vice versa, we both have bricks in that building. We both have made sacrifices for the other one to be in a position to be successful as we are today. We deserve it as individuals. The Fab Five, the supporters, and the fans deserve it. But more importantly, our hometown Detroit deserves it. So many people that look like us have not learned to resolve confrontation and have a resolution that doesn't end in violence. And that this situation deserves for that to happen. My heart is open. My head is open. I wait for the day to take place.
What are you waiting for?
I've reached out. I've extended an olive branch. But like you saw in that video, it takes two people to reconcile. It takes, in our case, multiple people who, for whatever reasons, aren't seeing eye to eye to reconcile.
So, Jalen, I know you're not a crier, but when you and Chris Webber finally do what Magic and Isaiah did, you going to drop a tear, little one?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe so. That is my brother. I do love him. We shall see.
Well, we shall. Moving on, LeVar Ball knows exactly how to keep his name in the news. First, he was pulling his son from UCLA, and then he was going to send him to Lithuania to some small-town team, which was never going to happen. And the latest is this. Now he has started the Junior Basketball League. This is a basketball league for high school players that don't want to go to college, and he says that he will pay these players between $3,000 and $10,000 a month for participation in this league. Now, mind you, this league doesn't exist. No venues have been secured. Tickets are not on sale. This probably won't ever happen. But, Jalen, what is your boy, LeVar Ball, doing now?
First off, that's not my boy. That's my stepdad. The
Jalen.
papers just haven't gotten completed just yet.
Every LeVar Ball news story, someone tells me that, you know what, maybe paperwork and execution and attention to detail is not exactly his thing. Let me just put that out there. I think he seems like he's big on creativity, small on execution. But continue.
So, how many people do you think are in the world, past and or present, that have looked themselves in the mirror, that have said to somebody, that has thought that I want to be a professional basketball player?
Millions. Millions upon millions, myself included.
How many Instagram models are they?
I don't know what an Instagram model is. Not familiar.
My point is, there are so many people that are willing to get paid to play basketball. He will not have problems finding people to participate in this league.
Oh, yes, he will. Oh, yeah.
Regardless of the validity.
Oh, yeah. This is, Jalen, do you think this, okay, let me ask a better question. Do you think they will ever have a jump ball for this league? Will there ever be one professional game in the Junior Basketball League ever?
No.
No,
Not
exactly. He's just saying things. He just says things. Oh, I'm going to send my kids to Lithuania. No, you're not. I'm going to start the Junior Basketball League. No, you're not. This is not going to happen. The Big Three. The Big Three was a new league that was started this year. That took planning. That took some very serious people involved. Network money, deals, lawyers, contracts, getting it together. All the little things, all the logistics from week to week, going from here to there, getting the ex-pros to sign up. That takes a lot of hard work. LeVar Ball is not willing to put in.
You just touched on the key. The Big Three, led by Ice Cube and Roger Mason, also used the experience and the notoriety of people that were former basketball players. So therefore, you can fill up the Staples Center or have a basketball game in Brooklyn, which I attended, and people actually want to come support those guys who got paid millions of dollars to play basketball and still have skill and want to play in front of an audience. Yep. But Jacoby, there are basketball games and or leagues that are taking place that don't get that level of notoriety, that if you tell some high school kids that aren't trying to go to college anyway, that I'm going to pay you $3,000 to $10,000 a month to play basketball versus sticking a gun in somebody's face at an ATM machine or at a stoplight, then I'll take that also.
Of course, but you're looking at it as from a player's perspective. Let me give you the fans' perspective. Oh, you don't have the top recruits? Oh, you got the guys that couldn't make grades? You got the guys that were headed to junior college or community college? Look, those are the type of guys you guys, and you want to charge me to do what? To go there and watch it? I could go to the park and watch that level of basketball. I do not need to pay my money, get in my car, drive my family there, and buy tickets to go see it. This league is not going to happen, just like his kids playing Lithuania is not going to happen. You know what is going to happen? He's going to say something silly tomorrow, and then we're going to talk about it again, and this whole thing is just a cycle, just like a snake eating its tail, and it never stops, and somehow I got caught in the loop, and I can't believe this happened to me. I'm sad now. Jalen Rose, it seems like just yesterday, The big Mayweather-McGregor fight was on everyone's TV, and everyone put up the money, and we all watched it. And it was a pretty impressive fight. We feel like we got our money's worth, and that was a good thing. And then Mayweather just kind of disappeared. We assumed he was all going to retire, maybe go into a strip club and hang out for a while. Well, he's back in the news. He is now teasing his return, but not his return to the squared circle. Now he's teasing his return to the octagon, which is kind of a squared circle now that I think about it. He said this, quote, "I can come back. If I wanted to, I can come right back to the UFC. I can go fight in the octagon. I can do a 3-4 fight deal in the octagon and make $1 billion. Remember, I'm Floyd Money Mayweather." Well, Dana White spoke to ESPN and acknowledged that there was mutual interest. Jalen, make some sense of this. Floyd Mayweather's not really going to fight in an MMA fight, right?
I can't make any sense of this. My good friend Floyd, two things I know that he's not trying to have happen. One, him get punched in the face. No. Number two, him get tackled on the ground. No. Those are two things that he will not allow. He'll go to the bag and pull out something that ain't the $100 million check. If somebody try to throw him on the ground.
Let me just go the other way for a second. What is Floyd's nickname after he was Pretty Boy?
Money. He's money.
Now, I would be lying if I said that if I would not pay $200 to watch Floyd Mayweather fight in the UFC. I'd be lying if I said that I was not willing to do that. And one of the reasons that I felt Floyd was pretty much retired was because of that perfect record. The undefeated record that is so special in the world of sports. If he fights in the octagon, he's not putting that undefeated record in jeopardy. Like, there is a world in which he could say, should I just lose a UFC fight and make $300 million? Or should I just stay home and make $0? Like, this does make money. Does that make sense?
Floyd trying to continue to build his business as an entrepreneur, the adult establishment he started in Vegas. As a matter of fact, if you want, I'll text him and see if we could do the show from there. We have a better chance of doing that on a Disney dime than him getting in the octagon.
Jalen, we're not doing the show from a strip club. We're not doing the show from a strip club. The show might have been born in a strip club, but I will not let it die in a strip club. Moving on before we get fired. Tom Brady's longtime trainer and business partner and guru, Alex Guerrero, has had all of his privileges revoked from the New England Patriots. He used to treat a lot of the players. He used to be on the sideline. He used to ride in the plane. And now Bill Belichick and the Patriots have put an end to all of that, saying he can only treat Tom Brady. He cannot fly on the plane, and he has lost his Patriot privileges. There's been some reports from Adam Schefter in the Boston Globe of a rift between Guerrero and the franchise. Jalen, do you think Alex Guerrero has caused some unwanted tension amongst the Patriots?
I think so. If we're talking about it with a franchise that normally keeps everything insulated, finds ways to move on to the next play, to the next game, eliminate distractions, and compete at an elite level that continues to find ways to end up in the championship circle. Yep. The first thing I thought about when I heard about this, number one, the entrepreneurial spirit. It's one thing that you're able to train Tom Brady and get a check. But it's another thing, you got an office in our building and our other players are also paying you to train them, to give them advice and stuff like that. That's being able to, I guess, burn both ends of the candle. Yep. And also, there's nothing foreign about a trainer, a family member, an agent, a supporter not being able to have all of the privileges that somebody on the staff and a player has. It's a great opportunity for Tom that he was able to do it for so long, and he's 40 years old and he's still having the success. But like they said, he's the greatest quarterback of all time. You can continue to work him out. We'll stay out of that.
You know what they need to do next? Now we need to get the comic. We need to get rid of the comics now, Tom. The TB12, the whole comic thing needs to go. You got rid of the trainer. Let's get rid of the cartoonist as well while we're clearing house. Moving on. Jalen Rose, Christmas is very special, not just to everybody around the world that celebrates that holiday, but also to NBA fans. However, this year, in the big game on ABC, when Jalen's got his haircut and his suit and his accessories, Steph Curry will not be participating as the Cavs take on the Warriors. Jalen, it was all due to this sprained ankle that he suffered. How bummed out are you that we will not have Steph on Christmas?
Really bummed out. As a matter of fact, it's not just Steph. That's the headline. But also Isaiah Thomas won't be playing. Another all-NBA caliber player from last year. But it still won't take away the dynamics of LeBron James and Kevin Durant, who many, like myself, feel like the top two players in the game, will be going mano a mano because KD gave him a business in the finals, though LeBron had the better overall individual stats. Very important question. Does your barber cut your hair on Christmas morning, or do you get it done on Christmas Eve? See, here's the thing. Like, I might turn into you, man. What happened? Because I hit him, and I'm trying to get a cut on Christmas morning, and he like, oh, I'm going to be out of town on the 23rd. It's Christmas morning. He's like, come on. I'm not working on Christmas morning. Just get a haircut. Just get a regular haircut on Christmas Eve. It'll still look good on Christmas Day, Jalen. I promise. I promise. You are too rich. We need to take some of your money. Give up some of your money. Here's the thing. People always say family first, right? And I know that you think that you're going to pay him so much money. You got to go follow the money and whatever. Family first. It's Christmas morning, man. And you're probably going to make him drive to downtown where you are instead of you going to him. No. Like, you're not going to get a cut. Let me give you another vet move. Let me give you another vet move. No. What's that? First off, I tip well. I understand. I pay $100 to get a cut on a Thursday in August. Okay. I'm a great client. $300 tip is not enough to keep me from my kids on Christmas morning. Does your barber have kids? Number one, I show up on time. You need somebody to give you some of the money to reimburse the toys and all of the funds that you spend over the holiday. That's a layup. That's the tip that you give him on the 23rd. Yep. That's what does that. Not that, he's out of town. He's out of town, Jalen. You're going to cancel the show. You're going to see, watch. If Jalen can't have his barber, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to get a call from an exec and be like, I heard Jalen Rose is hospitalized. We can't find Jalen. We don't know what happened with Jalen. And I'd be like, I know what happened with Jalen. He doesn't have a fresh cut, so he doesn't want to be on TV. No, I'll do my Reg and I'll get a flat tire. Oh, God. Shout out. Reg is still out somewhere on the 101 trying to fix his tire.
Bowl season is here. Are you ready to cash in on what you know? Where you play is as important as what you play. The pros play at mybookie.ag. All the lines, odds, and plays, both college and pro, all at mybookie.ag. Play where you get paid super fast and there's never a hassle. Step up and mybookie.ag will match your deposit with up to a 50% bonus. Use promo code JJ50 to activate the offer. Don't leave the money on the table. Mybookie.ag, promo code JJ50, and your first deposit is matched up to 50%. Play where the pros play because they get paid. MyBookie.ag.
Jalen, Kristaps Porzingis has been in New York for only a few seasons, but New York has fully embraced the Porzing God. The unicorn has become a cult figure amongst fans in the whole tri-state area, but now he has embraced the tri-state area. Do you know how I know this? Look at the presents that he bought his teammates. Look at the back of them. Look at the for all of his teammates, he got them custom Timberland boots. Timberland boots are the official footwear of New York City. Jalen Rose, when you were with the Knicks, did you wear Timberlands? I didn't have to be with the Knicks to wear Timberlands. And I love New York City. Like anybody that isn't from there, that's lived there, played for the team, got many friends that live in the tri-state area. I have breaking news for you East Coasters. Y'all ain't the only person that wear Timbs. Oh, stop it. Y'all did not invent that. Oh, stop it. Oh, stop it. The wheat Timbs, the originals. Jalen. I'm from the Midwest. Jalen. We've been doing that also. And let me tell you one other thing. I like Porzingis. And when he got drafted, I appreciated the fact that he loved world star hip hop. That's what we have in common. But let's not act like spending $1,400 on Timbs is going to get him $1.4 million worth of press. This is slightly a culture vulture move, but I ain't mad at him because he's a terrific player. Oh, come on. Jalen, first of all, First of all the things that you claim to have invented or take credit for, and then you're going to be like, no, New Yorkers, you don't get. What do you always say? You don't have to invent it. You just popularized it. And New York City popularized wearing the Timberland boot is for fashion and not for function. And that's a fact. And I'm going to move on because I don't even want to hear your answer. You probably invented those stupid glasses too, didn't you?
No,
you
New York
invented
City.
Everything.
Crush Groove,
Yes,
B Street.
Exactly.
Lee and B Street.
Thank you very much. Moving on. Yesterday, we showed this
Shout
video
to NY.
of this fan at the Hawks game against the Heat. Remember this fan throwing up all over the place right behind the Hawks bench? That was at the end of the game. We now have new information. After the first quarter, the Heat's Dion Waiters threw up. And when asked why he threw up, he said he ate too much spaghetti. I don't know why this game involved so much vomit. But my question for you is, Jalen, have you ever eaten too much before an NBA game?
I've never eaten too much, especially to put me in the position to call Earl. But here's what I will say.
It sounds like you're about to throw up right there.
No, I eat a lot of popcorn, and I had the hiccups because of it. But I will say this. In Atlanta, people go on dates at the strip club. And don't talk about their food, because I'm telling you, some of the best chefs in restaurants, steaks, seafood, and sides happen in adult entertainment establishments in the Atlanta area.
All right, Jalen. Interesting interview with MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred and Miami's Dan Le Batard earlier today, in which Manfred said that he was unaware of the plans of the Marlins' new ownership to reduce the payroll by $20 million a year. However, it was called like the Wolverine package, which Jeter and his other owners put forth. And in the Wolverine package, they detailed how they were going to cut salary by about $20 million a year. Do you think Manfred really didn't know about this? Do you think he has a selective memory? Do you think he has a different version of the events that supports his claim? Or do you think he's just straight up lied?
Where's LL when I need him, Red? Think about this. I knew that they were going to cut salary. I knew that they were talking about trading Stanton. And I'm not the commissioner of baseball. I'm not the owner of a team. I don't play in the major leagues. And if I knew, he definitely knew.
Well, Cam Newton is on a tear. He's on a tear.
Oh, Cam.
The Panthers are a tough out in the playoffs. I could see them getting all the way to the NFC Championship, if not the Super Bowl. They've got a defense, explosive offense led by Cam Newton.
Bunches.
They have some turmoil in the franchise, though. Jerry Richardson, the owner, was detailed by an investigative report to do some pretty terrible things. However, Cam, great on the football field, not always great in the press conference. As we've seen, we all remember after the Super Bowl loss, we all remember when he laughed and said it's just so funny to hear a female talk about routes. And now he had said that he is disgruntled when he found out that Richardson planned to sell, quote, because this is a person who has enlightened me on many different types of things on and off the field. I'm not disputing the fact that Richardson had enlightened Cam to things on and off the field, but I'm saying that perhaps it is not the best time to put your support behind someone who, if you read the article, was a very, very terrible person to be around, especially at the place that he owned and worked. Yep. Jalen, what do you think about Cam?
This is a can't-win situation for him because the person that drafted him gave him an opportunity to be a starting quarterback, pays him multi-millions of dollars to do such, that has probably stuck behind him through his peaks and valleys, watched the team be led by him to the Super Bowl, winning MVP. It seems like it's hard for him to separate the actions of that same individual for public consumption. So I'm not going to read too much into his comments. I bet he'd much rather have Diddy on the team.
Yeah. Well, you know, I've got a son. He's 4 years old, and he's at that point in his life where he thinks that I am everything. Like, he thinks that I'm taller than buildings. He thinks I can do everything. Like, you know, he'll lose this soon, but it's a really fun part of life. And Kurt Warner has a son as well. Kurt Warner's son was asked to write about the greatest quarterback of all time. And Kurt Warner's son was writing his piece about the greatest quarterback of all time. and he was going into detail about the career. And when Kurt took a long look at it, he realized that his son was writing about Tom Brady and not himself. Would you be salty if that happened to you?
Not at all. Because self-reflection is the most important version. And while Kurt Warner may be dad and mentor and idol and leader and friend, that doesn't necessarily mean he has to be the greatest quarterback of all time. That's a couple of different things. So I applaud his son for being able to see the forest for the trees.
Next, Joel Embiid is likely going to be back for Christmas. He has been dealing with some back issues. The Sixers are 2-8 in their last 10 games. And this team that was so much fun to watch, this team that Brett Brown said this is the year that we sort of harvest the seeds that the process had planted, doesn't look that good. And I don't notice too many people talking about the losing streak, Jalen. I noticed a lot of people talking about the winning streak. Is the media turning a blind eye towards the Sixers' poor performance of late?
Well, I love Embiid and Ben Simmons. I'm a fan of Covington and how he's made himself into an NBA player. J.J. Redick is a veteran on that squad. But when you look deeper into the box score, you get a 500 basketball team. And what the media ends up doing is becoming fans and or groupies of what they think is next because people want to say, I told you so. It happened this year in football. How many people were talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Oh, the Raiders. This is the Raiders year.
What they were going to do this year. Or how great Aaron Rodgers is, and they won't even be in the playoffs. So media tends to promote and or give extra hype not only to circumstances that can possibly be legitimate, but to ones they like because they're human beings also.
So, Jalen, I want to tell you a little bit about my relationship with the phenomenon that is LeVar Ball.
Okay.
Of course, I was familiar with Lonzo Ball. He started making those appearances on our network. And he was bombastic, and he was entertaining, and he said crazy things, and he went toe-to-toe with Stephen A. Smith, and it was great. And he started going on to other networks, and he became a news story onto himself. And I've kind of felt like he was oversaturated, that I kind of like it's a one-note sort of a thing that was happening. And then I was bored with him, and I was like, why are we infatuated with this dad who isn't that much different than other sports dads in the world? And then he started the Baller Brand shoes. He announced that Lonzo was not going to sign with Nike or Adidas, and they were going to start the Baller Brand. I like that. This is back when I was on Team LeVar. I was like, you know what? Be an entrepreneur. Use your name. Use your leverage. Why sign a contract where you're always going to work for someone else when you can build your own company and sign other players later? Like, this was something that I found inspiring. I found it uniquely American, and I was excited about it. Ever since then, a lot of questionable decisions, Jalen. Pulling LiAngelo from UCLA, very questionable decision. Pulling LaMelo from high school at 16 years old, very questionable decision. Signing in Lithuania, very questionable decision. And now this basketball league, junior basketball league, that he doesn't even plan to have his sons play in, mind you. This doesn't make sense to me anymore. Like, he's lost me. Now, you always say there's no LeVar Ball slander. You can't act like he hasn't lost you too.
I think you underestimate the fact that he already trains, mentors multiple young people, and has his own team that we've witnessed him bring the squad off the floor when he got upset with the officials.
With a pretty much a misogynistic undertone, he brought him off the floor as well. Let's not forget the misogyny angle as well, but continue.
And also, which led to the shoe company who was hosting the tournament to also be reprimanded for allowing that discipline to the official to happen, but his team continued to perform. When you say people that leave high school that have no ambitions for college, that want to play basketball and get paid for it, that's multi-millions of people if it's executed properly. There's so many young people in 12th grade that don't have
Okay. There are a lot of 12th
idea that they want to go to college, but if somebody wants to pay them to play basketball.
Sure. But are those people, and I agree with you, there are millions of those people that do not want to go to college that do want to play professional basketball. Millions of them. But how many of those people are good enough to charge people to go see play basketball?
Now that's the thing. So here's the draw. You know the draw? The person that's been on our network, other networks, CNN, The Breakfast Club. LeVar's the draw. Who's going to be the MVP of the celebrity game this year in Los Angeles when ESPN has our game on that Friday of All-Star Weekend?
I think it's Kevin Hart. Usually it's Kevin Hart. It's kind of always Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart always wins that award.
He's dealing with some other situations right now. It's going to be LeVar Ball.
I doubt it. You got to get some buckets to be MVP.
Kevin Hart, I played in the game. He had 2 points and 1 MVP. What are you saying?
All right. I understand there is a draw to LeVar Ball, but you're deflecting from the fact that he has made some very questionable decisions to the point where I used to defend him somewhat when he was making his own shoe company, but now I just feel bad. I feel bad for LaMelo, who has pro basketball player potential. Right? And I understand there are so many problems. We could talk for hours about the system, AAU system, and the NCAA taking advantage of players. And it is a flawed, broken system. However, it is a system that, if you are good enough, will lead you down the path to the National Basketball Association. I don't know if playing in Lithuania for a week and then getting kicked off the team or leaving the team, is that going to get you into the NBA? I don't know if playing in the Junior Basketball League, the first year it's ever been put together, that's probably not going to be that organized and probably not going to be that well attended and probably not going to make that much money. I don't know if that is a path to the NBA. Do you know what probably is a pretty secure path to the NBA? It's very difficult to get into the NBA, as you know, Mr. Rose. You've got LaMelo, who has the talent to be in the NBA. He should probably just go to college and play basketball at a big school. Don't you think?
That's what I would have advised. But it's kind of hard to do that when you have your own shoe and you have an agent. At that point, you can't go to college and play collegiate basketball.
I would love for him then just to sign with a big Italian team like Jennings did, or go play in China like Moutier did. Like I just feel bad for LaMelo. Lonzo, if I'm Lonzo's best friend, I'm like, Lonzo, you're lucky. You're lucky. You're lucky that you getting drafted was the catalyst that created all of this LeVar Ball insanity, because you're through. You got a rookie contract. You're in the league. You're performing. You don't have to develop as a child anymore. LaMelo still has to develop as a child to turn into an adult basketball player, and that's what concerns me.
How about this? Lonzo don't even hoop in Baller brand shoes.
Of course not. No. Of course not. You know the tag on the back of the Baller brand shoes, that little loop they use to pull them on, you know what it says on it? Pull. Like a door. I know, Baller brand. I know that you use that to pull on. I got it. You didn't need to write pull on there. I understand. You don't have to put flush in the little handle on the side of the toilet. I know what it does. I got it. I'm concerned, Jalen. I'm concerned. I don't think this is going to end well. I'm predicting right now they never step foot in Lithuania. I've already said that on wax. I am concerned that LaMelo never plays in the NBA. Aren't you concerned about that, Jalen?
I am concerned because guess what? It's really hard to play in the NBA. There are only 4,000 individuals to actually ever do such.
Of course. And he has that potential at 16, but people that have that potential at 16 usually have the goal of getting to the NBA, and they have people around them that help them. Whether they're taking advantage of them or whether they're manipulating them or whether they're being fully honest in their intentions, they do help them get to the NBA. I don't know if what LeVar is doing is helping LaMelo get to the NBA.
It helped Lonzo get there, whatever decisions he was making. Yep. He came through the system and worked out just fine.
Jalen, can we now officially revoke your application to be the fourth Ball brother? Can we please do that?
Not at all.
I'm doing it for you then, because I know you don't know paperwork either.
I'm going to tell you, this is why my adoption is going to be so important for the family. They need somebody in the family, an older brother, that can drink old fashions with LeVar and just talk about things from the 70s and the Temptations and the Four Tops and just, have a wealth of knowledge that's 20 years older than Lonzo.
After you're talking about the Supremes and the Temptations, can you look at him and be like, let's not start a basketball league, Dad. Also, Dad, let's make sure that LaMelo just kind of gets what he needs. And also, Dad, do you know how long the flight is to Lithuania? Have you seen the small town that we're going to go to, Dad? Let's not do that. Can you do that after you talk about the Temptations? Can you do that? Also, your shoes are heavy and kind of trash, and people are buying them. Even at $500, we should probably send them some shoes.
You know that they need an older brother when Lonzo out here trying to trash Nas.
Great point.
Come on, man.
Right now, me and Jalen and Method Man are we're going to keep it moving. Jalen Rose, Ezekiel Elliott says he has turned a new page after the return from the ban. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes.
Ezekiel Elliott and the Cowboys are on the fringe of the playoffs. Ezekiel Elliott and the Cowboys need to beat the Seahawks, and then in Week 17 need to beat the Eagles to get into the playoffs. Do you think that would happen?
If Carson Wentz was playing, I would say no.
He probably wouldn't be playing if he was playing because the Eagles will probably have the number 1 seed sewn up by then, I imagine.
If the Legion of Boom was healthy, in particular Sherman and Cam, I would say no.
However,
but watching how Seattle got the brakes beat off of them by the Rams, I say the Dallas Cowboys get in the playoffs.
I love it. You know that's good for business. Next, Isaiah Thomas is going to practice with the Cavaliers G League team. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Keep it moving. I can't wait for him to come back, though.
Enes Kanter could possibly be facing 4 years in prison. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes.
He's have a long-standing feud with the residing president of Turkey, I believe, and he is now being charged with some sort of treason, whatever they call it there, and he could potentially be served 4 years in prison. What do you think about this, quote-unquote, justice?
I think he need to call LeVar Ball and get him out of it.
Shout out.
I can't believe one day on the show you're going to come to me and you're going to say, Jacoby, you were right about LeVar. I tried to hold on. I was holding on after he started the baller brand, and I was still holding on even after he pulled him from UCLA. I was still holding on after the Lithuanian thing. I was still holding on after the junior basketball league. But he's crossed the line. Oh, let's not forget the fact when he made fun of the female referee and said misogynistic things about her, got her kicked out of the game instead of him getting kicked out of the game. At one point, you're going to come to me and say, Jacoby, you were right about LeVar Ball. We should not have been talking about him the whole time.
He told friend of the program, Kristen Leahy, to stay in her lane.
Yeah.
But here's when I'll get off LeVar Ball and probably take him off the list of no slander.
Oh, he's off the list.
If he denies my adoption.
Here's the thing. First of all, I've slandered him pretty much every day for the past month. So you act like the no slander list, but like he got erased from that one a long time ago. And Tupac got to slander when you're not around.
That's unacceptable.
Next. BasketballReference.com is one of my favorite websites for basketball stats and information. I learn a lot from that. A lot of my opinions are based on numbers that I get from that place. And they've got sort of like an analytics-based MVP tracker, which, basically tracks analytic performance. What's the problem here?
Here we go.
You know what?
Take the MVP off numbers.
Anybody that ever got a check to play a sport hates the word analytics. You know what I mean? I know you better than that, Jalen Rose. I know you better than that. You are not that person. You are not the analytics doesn't matter. There's no value in analytics. I'm just trying to draw a point out of this, but you start going, oh no, before we even get there.
Because you said you're picking the MVP based on numbers.
That's not what I said. I said a website which is extremely helpful to this program and to basketball fans that care about numbers has a tracker based on performance alone. They're not picking the MVP. They're saying we have an algorithm. This is who our algorithm says are the most valuable players in the league based on numbers. Okay? That's what they say.
Well, the people that use analytics to define those type of things are the people that know what algorithm mean.
Have you ever met algorithm?
No. I met Al Heyman.
You ever met Al Green?
Shout out.
No.
You ever met Al Gore?
No.
You ever met Albie Shore?
I met Al Tyner.
Oh, okay. I mean, he goes by Alex, but you pulled an L out of there. Huge shout to Alex Tyner, one of the best people at the Entertainment and Sports
Good looking on the Glow Point process, Tyner.
Shout out.
Right now, we're going to open up our voicemail box. If you call 985-80-JALEN, you can leave us a voicemail and you will appear on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Today, as every Wednesday is on Jalen and Jacoby, it's Woman Crush Wednesday. So let's listen to a female voicemail.
Hi, Jalen and Jacoby. Shout out to everybody on staff, Reg. So, recently I have started listening to you guys safely due to me just getting married and my husband being obsessed with you guys' shows. He's a huge fan. So thanks shout out to him for putting me on because I do actually love you guys and like listening to you. However, yesterday he decided to try to call in and put me on blast in regards to how I wrap presents and how I do the dishes. So one, was that a soft move or boss move for trying to blast me out here on you guys' talk show? And then also I had one more soft move, boss move, in regards to when you're doing the dishes, since you like to talk about that. Is it a soft move or boss move to leave the pots and pans for someone to do the next day, or even for you to do the next day when they should really be done like all that day? Soft move or boss move? Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Well, there'll be no female slander on Woman Crush Wednesday.
Ever.
So that was definitely a soft move of your man to try to call in to air his grievances. But we do have a new thing we're doing where couples can call in with tandem calls. So don't forget, if you guys have a problem, you need some help, you need some mediation, you need some couples therapy, your brothers Jalen and Jacoby are here to help. But in regards to your question, notice how she didn't identify either. I noticed that. She didn't say her name. Didn't want anybody to talk about this. But if you start doing the dishes, you got to do all the dishes. If you have a sponge in your hand and you're standing at the sink, you got to do all the dishes. Ain't no such thing as halfway dishwashers. You're doing the dishes, you got to do every single dish. And I've got a confession to make. We had a mouse problem in my house about 6 months ago. Jalen, we got roaches. Exterminators are coming. They're going to fumigate. We got big, huge roaches around the house. And that's just another reason. You can't leave a dirty pot out there with roaches around. You're just basically it's like cookies for Santa Claus. You're just leaving it out for them to eat at night. Jalen, what do you think about the dishes?
A couple of things. I'm rolling with you, family. That's definitely a soft move to call in and air out your grievance against your better half. It's even worse to wash the dishes and the silverware, Belita, heavy lifting the pots and pans to whoever else you stay with. That's foul.
It ain't hard to rinse off a plate.
Somebody that does a lot of cooking, oh man, that's extra foul.
It ain't hard to rinse off a plate and put in the dishwasher.
Nope.
Now, here's a question for you, Jalen, based on this. Who gets the better end of the I cook, you clean policy?
Oh, this is easy. No question about it. The person that cooks dictates who cleans.
Yes, but I understand that. I'm using that as an assumption that there's an I cook, you clean policy, right? But who gets the better part? Who gets the better part? Which one would you rather do? Be the person that cooks or the person that cleans?
I can't front. I do a lot of things domestically around the house, including cooking. Molly will tell you guys.
No dishes?
No dishes for the kids.
You don't do any dishes? Oh, Jalen, that's got to change. That's got to change. Oh, come on. Because my wife a lot of time will cook.
I'll take the Brillo pad or take the sponge, wipe off the plate, rinse down the dishes with my hand, and that's it. I'm leaving the pots and pans in there, too. I just did this.
But it's just two of y'all that live there.
Yesterday.
There's just two of y'all live there, so it's a standoff of who's going to clean the pots and pans. I can't stand that because you know she's getting salty. I'm sure you do a lot. I'm sure you do a lot around the house. I'm sure that it's all equal or whatever. But you know when you wake up in the next morning and you walk into the kitchen and you cooked the night before and you see the pots and pans there from the meal that you cooked, you know she's salty. She might not say it to you, but I know she is because my wife does so much with the kids, their education and scheduling and driving and all that. But if I cook and the dishes are there the next day, I'm salty. Thank you so much for the call. And every Wednesday we celebrate the more intelligent, kinder,
disciplined, beautiful, hardworking,
smarter,
ambitious,
more responsible, better smelling gender than women around the world. With all female voicemails. Let's listen to another.
Educated.
Hey, Jalen Jacoby. This is Tiana from Maryland. Just want to say shout out to my boyfriend, first and foremost, Corey, because he's has me hooked on this show. But I had to stop my car because I swear I just saw a UFO. So now I am a believer. And that's literally all I had to say. Thanks for a great pod. Peace.
Hit the brakes. Hit the brakes. Hit the brakes.
Jalen, no. I've been waiting for this call for like a week.
Reds, where's LL when I need him? Like, seriously.
She just saw a UFO. Okay, Jalen, let me speak on this for a second. And just be intelligent, pay some attention, okay? Two things I only need you to do. Have an open mind and listen. The government started a like secret investigation fund. They spent $22 million for 7 years between 2005 and 2012 on investigating UFOs because of some of these instances that their military pilots were coming back with. One of such instances was recorded and played right here on this program, and afterwards all you said was Mork and Mindy, Nanu. That's the only alien I know. Well, let me tell you something. If you cared enough to do some research, you would know that that video was basically shaped like a Tic Tac. It was flying vertically, and then it rotated horizontally. It was going against a 110-mile-hour wind. It was going literally straight up and down, moving like no other aircraft has ever moved in the history of the planet. Then, the pilot who's witnessed this, Jalen, I just said all I need you to do is listen and have an open mind. That's all I said. And you nodded. Wake up, Jalen. The pilot who saw this aircraft and recorded it, he said, I have been in the air for 3 decades. I have seen everything there is to see in that realm. I have never seen anything like this. It was out of this world. There are UFOs. This military pilot is not just like Tiana driving down the street that sees a shooting star and says it was a UFO. You know what I mean? This military pilot is not just like, that kind of crazy guy in the town square that's got conspiracy theories about everything with his tin hat on. This is a military pilot who recorded it and saw it. It can only be, if you watch the video, which I know you didn't because you're in another studio, you don't really research for the show. If you watch the video, you would see that it is clearly not a man-made flying object. It is clearly not a natural flying object. It is very clearly alien presence on this planet and nothing else. There's the evidence is indisputable. So while we're all
seen you this enthusiastic since the twins were born.
I'm telling you. We're all sitting around talking about,
right now.
When's Isaiah Thomas going to come back? Is Steph Curry going to play in Christmas? Who cares? There's aliens on the planet. There's aliens here. They're right here on this planet. Just watching us every day. And then at the end of the video, this flying object, and you can Google it. It's there. It's government certified. This is not doctored footage. The thing just disappears. It just flies away once it realizes it's being seen. Just flies away. Gone. You don't think that was an alien?
Isn't there a difference between a UFO, an unidentified flying object, and an alien?
Yes.
You're talking about them like they're the same.
That's fair. So aliens could have crafted an unidentified flying object, like a drone sort of thing, for research purposes. So while we might not physically have life forms here on this realm, there are other life forms monitoring us. Clearly.
The same individuals that love aliens, like E.T., and think that's a classic movie, are the same ones that believe in UFOs and watch Star Trek. I'm convinced.
I don't even know what that means. The same people that like E.T. like Star Trek? Is that the point you're trying to make? No. I see what you're trying to say. I know what you're trying to say, Jalen. It always goes back to race with you. Oh, white people believe in aliens. Black people don't believe in aliens. Do you know what I believe in? What I see with my eyes. Whether you are Asian, Latino, white, black, whether you are a dog or a cat, you watch this video and you say that is an unidentified flying object from another planet on our atmosphere.
Let me tell you what I was doing in rush hour traffic, leaving New York City, trying to get home to Connecticut the time that the eclipse was happening. You know what I was doing?
Listening to Jalen Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
I was speeding past all of the people that was pulling to the side of the road so I could get home faster in rush hour traffic.
I need a new host. I need a new co-host. Can I have a new co-host? Because I need a co-host that understands that eclipses and alien life forms, and the video that I saw is significant. I saw an alien flying object with my own eyes.
You're the same person that talked about making love to a robot.
What? That's still on the table. What? That's still on the table. Holler at me, Sophia. Slide in the DM, Sophia. We know. I still got a thing for Sophia. She's fly. They didn't have to make her that fly.
It makes
sense. They really didn't have to.
E.T., Star Trek,
just made her
and giant
looking
robot.
Jalen, right now we're going to open up our 1-800-Flowers Twitter feed. That is at Jalen and Jacoby. People writing questions. We answer them on the show just like this. This question is from Kylie.
Jenner?
Nope. Is dating harder for males or females?
I say females.
Explain yourself, Mr. Rose.
Oh, man. I think it's a landslide. I don't think it's close.
I agree.
Because we live in a society where men pound their chest and are celebrated for having multiple partners or for being the kind of people that move from one person to the next swiftly.
Mm-hmm.
Society's not so favorable for women in those same scenarios.
I've got a friend who's single. He's almost 40, and he's not feeling pressure to get married. He doesn't feel pressure to have kids. No one asked him at Thanksgiving, when are you going to settle down? But if that was a woman, so much societal pressure. So many people telling you that you can't have kids. It's dangerous to have children past 35. There's so much of around the Thanksgiving table. How come you're still single? There's so much more pressure on a female to settle down than there is on a male to settle down. Another thing that's against the women in this one. If you're a 35-year-old man and you've got a 25-year-old girlfriend, no one even bats an eyelash. No one even cares. But if you're a woman, for some reason, only people that are your age or older are acceptable partners. I don't know why that is, but it is not fair. So Kylie, who actually is the person that compiles our tweets, she just wrote this one in.
Shout out.
We appreciate the question.
And also, here's the thing I want to pull women behind the curtain with. And guys, if you're with your significant other, this is your chance to change the channel. To press pause, to press mute, to turn it down. You know that saying about how men think they're slick, but women are stealth? And how whatever men possibly think they're getting away with, that women are just so cat-like and they can be so swift in doing things that wouldn't make their mate proud. Let me just tell y'all something. Women could never lie like men.
I know that's where you're going.
It's not even close. You think you sneaking off texting some dude or emailing some dude, all that means is your man kind of senses it, so he just gonna do it 5 times more than you.
Moving on. Great question from Infinity Quest. Great question. Does Jalen curse when he sings along with a song? Great question. I've wondered this myself for quite some time. Jalen's not cursing is one of the more impressive things about him, to be honest.
I have the most easy definition of all time for this. This is about to be on ESPN.com when I say this.
I know what you're going to say, too.
Because you know me very well.
I know exactly what you're going to say. I know exactly what you're going to say.
The way I can listen to a song, sing along, and not say the curse words is the same way white people can listen to rap music and not say the N-word.
I knew you were going to say that.
But you know sometimes they be saying it when we ain't around.
Oh, for sure. Yep. Chipotle or Qdoba?
Chipotle.
Have you ever been to Qdoba?
No.
Really good queso dip there. I don't really mess with too much fast food. And then the next question is, are either cultural? I'm going to say no. No.
No, my kids turned me on to Chipotle, and they turned me on to Chick-fil-A.
I've only had Chick-fil-A a couple times in my life.
It's Southern, but it expanded.
Yeah, they have
There's
one
one
here.
on Sunset. You should go hit it up.
No, I did that. I hit that up once with the Podfather. The Podfather is a huge Chick-fil-A proponent.
Chick-fil-A came with the double driveways. They like, we getting all of the money.
Yeah, no one wants to get out of their car. Next question that we have is a great question. It comes via our Twitter feed, which is compiled by Kylie.
Shout out.
Since it's Woman Crush Wednesday, what is the best gift your significant others have given you and vice versa?
Well, certain things that probably should stay
Just
in the...
don't.
Continue to be pillow talk.
Just don't. I know your answer.
My answer is the backpack y'all see me carrying every day.
Every single day, Jalen has this Gucci pattern embossed black backpack. If you think Gucci backpack, you think loud, you think it's that tan color with stripes, green and white, green and red stripes on it. No. It's black on black, all murdered out. Gucci embossed backpack. It's, if you know Jalen, he wears a lot of black. He wears a lot of basics. He's not a loud, flashy dresser too often. And this is just the perfect gift for him. He's always carrying it around everywhere. I have no idea how you haven't lost it yet. It's fascinating to me how you do this, but you have it with you everywhere you go. I don't know what's in there. I've never seen you open it up and take anything out except for the script. The only thing I've ever seen you take out of it is the script for Jalen versus everybody. As far as I'm concerned, all that is in there is a brush for your waves and the script to Jalen versus everybody. I've never seen you use the backpack. Is there gym clothes in there? Is there a laptop in there? What is in there?
Those are the only 2 times I have to work.
No charger.
To be a thespian.
A charger.
And to try to have waves.
A charger. I've seen you pull a charger out of there. Samsung charger, iPhone charger. What do you need? I got. Yo, can I charge this? I've never seen Jalen go into a room and not look for a charger or an outlet or some way to charge his phone. Do you charge your phone while you sleep? Do you do that?
I do.
So why do you always need a charge?
Because sometimes I don't. Sometimes I can't pick and choose when I fall asleep.
Okay. Dominic wants to know,
Shout out.
so take us behind the curtain. How do they determine what NBA teams play on Christmas Day? Oh, I know that.
Oh, easy. The ones that people are going to watch.
Yeah, the biggest ratings, the biggest
draws. The ones
draws.
that have top fight players. That's it.
Oh, the Bulls tanking? Guess what? Put them on Christmas. That's
the Lakers tanking.
Put them on Christmas. Put them on Christmas. Whatever it is. Oh, you mean the Suns are third in the West? Whatever. Not going to be on Christmas. Not a big enough market. Big Crown. Co-producer.
Shout out.
Associate producer, Big Crown. Soft move or boss move? Uber driver playing Christmas music because it's Christmas season. I'm going boss move. Boss move on that. I like to get into the holiday spirit. You know what I mean? I like to say happy holidays to strangers. I like to decorate my house with some silly lights. I like to walk around the neighborhood and look at lights. I enjoy that.
But you know what I was thinking over the last 2 weeks?
What's that, Mr. Rose?
If it's December 10th, don't come up to me and say Merry Christmas.
Oh, no. Not too. No. It's way too early. You can't give me 15 days until Christmas.
You gotta wait till at least the 22nd or 23rd.
No, you can say it now. I think if you're a week out, you can say Merry Christmas. I can say Merry Christmas to you.
They say Happy Holidays.
If I know I'm not going to see you later. And you know, let's not forget everyone that celebrates Hanukkah. They're in the thick of it right now. So you can say Happy Holidays. And you can say Happy Holidays all December long. You really can. I'm making a prediction. I make a lot of predictions on this show. One of these years, my wife is going to get really into Kwanzaa. I know that's going to happen. It's coming. One of these years, my wife is going to start reading up on Kwanzaa, and I'm going to have to be there and embrace the Kwanzaa spirit. I'll update you on that one in a couple years. Every Wednesday, we celebrate the females, not just in our life, but around the world, by taking all female voicemails. If you call 98580-JALEN, you can leave us a voicemail, and we'll play it on the show just like this.
What's up, Jalen and Jacoby? Shout out, Reggie. Shout out to my furrows of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. This is Sandra Davis from Austin, Texas. Soft move or boss move? So it's 3 a.m. on Saturday night. My dude, I'm in my birthday suit. He decides to say, hey, you want to download Jalen and Jacoby and watch them live? Don't get me wrong, Jalen and Jacoby. I cut for y'all. I listen to y'all when I'm at work. I listen to y'all while I'm at home cooking. But 3 a.m., please let me know if this is a soft move or a boss move. Please keep cutting those checks. Keep giving the people what they want. I'm out.
Thank you for calling, Sandra. Big shout out to Austin, Texas, the home of Ray Jackson, my Fab Five brother.
Shout out.
Anytime somebody's trying to get you to watch Jalen and Jacoby, that's a boss move.
Boss move. Yep. Boss move.
And also, here's something for the guys to take away from this scenario. It always helps, gentlemen, when you're not extra thirsty.
Oh, I see what you're doing here.
You know, it's like a lot of times when you're in a relationship, one of the people becomes the aggressor with things like this. One person ends up always being the person that has to ask, that sets the plate, that has to make sure that the plan is in place. If she's there with her birthday suit, and he's like, hold on, let me check out Jalen.
Let me see Jalen Jacoby. She's still going to be naked in 30 minutes. Shout out to Sandra Davis, though. She gives her first name, her last name, her location, and her sorority information.
No doubt.
Shout out to her.
Shout out.
And shout out to her because maybe you might have to slip in some lingerie every now and then.
Oh, okay. Lingerie wildly overrated, but we will not get into that here on Jalen and Jacoby on Woman Crush Wednesday.
Depends on who you ask.
Let's listen to the next female voicemail.
Do you like boy shorts?
Hey, Jalen and Jacoby. This is Carmen. I was just listening to your podcast from yesterday, and I heard the caller who wanted to ask you guys about whether or not to propose during Christmas. And Jacoby, you said that you have to give a gift with the engagement ring. So I have a question for you guys. False move or soft move? If your kid has a birthday in late December, do you save a Christmas gift and then give it to them as their birthday gift, or do you get them gifts for their birthday too? Keep getting those checks, guys. Thanks.
Well, let me take this one. If you're not born in late December, you get celebrated with a special day that's all your own called your birthday, right? And I always say that you can punish people for decisions they make, but nobody woke up and decided when they were going to be born. Nope. So why are they being punished for a decision that they did not even make? You cannot combine gifts. And not only that, is you have to make sure that you throw a separate event, that you celebrate that person for their birthday, just like if it was in June. That you need your own celebration. Now, inside pro tip, kids get too many presents on Christmas. Too many presents. What? So you don't have to necessarily get extra presents. You just kind of divide them between birthday and Christmas. That's what I would have to say about that one.
What? Hit the brakes. First off, what you just said was hypocritical. Yep. You went into this whole thing about celebrating the individual on Christmas because it's the holiday, and then on their birthday, late December, like it's June.
You can only combine gifts if you're Jesus. It's the only person that can combine gifts.
And then all of a sudden at the end, you like, you know what? You can't divide them. It's okay. They get too many gifts.
That's what I'm saying. So, you can emotionally celebrate it twice, but the physical gifts, you only really get the same amount.
Here's the answer, straightforward between the eyeballs.
What's that?
Okay. We putting it on wax. Regardless of when your birthday is, I only get one check. And if you're going to get 8 things for your birthday and Christmas, I don't care if you get 6 on Christmas and 2 on your birthday, or 4 and 4, but that's just what it's got to be.
That's what it's going to be. That's exactly what I said. You're going to get the same amount of presents, just divvied up. But you get yourself a nice dinner with your favorite items on the plate. You get the balloons. You get the cards. Maybe you can have some friends over. But another thing, it's hard to celebrate because, one thing I'm not doing is throwing a birthday party for my kids now with all these different holiday parties going on, all the other different things. Everyone keeps telling me that Reggie's birthday is on Christmas Eve in my ear. I understand that. I understand that Reggie's birthday is on Christmas Eve.
Shout out.
So I get that. I think that you guys just wanted me to say it on wax. So now when everyone calls, instead of saying shout out Reggie, what are they going to say, Jalen?
Happy birthday, Reg.
Reg gets too much love on this show. Too much. We got a big staff. We got Curtis. Kylie, Alex, Tanner, Harlan.
Shout out.
Let's listen to another voicemail.
Jalen and Jacoby, what up, though? This is Marissa calling from the Bay Area. More specifically, San Francisco, Oakland. I wanted to ask you a question. Soft move or boss move? You know when you go to the store to buy a card for Christmas, somebody's birthday, they now cost about $5 to $8 for each occasion. Is it a soft move or a boss move just buying a stationery set and using it for everything? Birthdays, holidays, maybe a loss in the family? Or do you need to go buy a personalized card at the drugstore or at the market for every single occasion? Thanks, and keep doing what you're doing. Bye.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate the love.
Shout out.
You heard Too Short. Detroit is just like Oakland. Now, first and foremost, I have to set you straight on this. That's a soft move. Yep. You can't send me the same card on my birthday and Christmas that you send me in condolences.
Yep. That's fair.
I know the wording might be different. I know your head is in a different space when you have the pen in your hand, but there's certain cards that have to be for the occasion. Christmas, birthday, best wishes, loss in the family. Those all have to be individualized. They can't be in the box set.
So here's another question just to build on that. I received a Christmas card. You know, a family Christmas card, picture of the kids, the whole thing. However, this time it was from Paperless Post. And I said to myself, maybe it's time. Maybe it's time that we don't need to send all this paper around and popularize the mantle with all these pictures of families that never been to my house. Maybe it's time that we can go digital with Christmas cards. Soft move or boss move, digital Christmas card.
Soft move. And you just said why. You just said why. It's not a living, breathing, tangible item that you can put on the mantle during the holiday and actually physically celebrate. It's an email that you get from me, you erase, your wife, Q, and the kids never see it.
All right. Building on that, in my home, January 2nd, I don't want to see those Christmas cards. January 2nd, I don't want to see a Christmas tree. January 2nd, I don't want to see Christmas lights. I don't want to see any of that. In my house, January 2nd, we turn the page. We turned the page. We've moved on. It's 2018. It's not time. It's not time for Christmas celebrations. I don't need to see an animatronic Santa in your front yard when it's not 358 days until the next Christmas.
It depends on the time, energy, and money you spent on your Christmas decorations.
What if you went to Home Depot once?
If you spent a lot of what I just said to make sure that your Christmas decorations were top flight in your world, you're not getting rid of them 3 days after Christmas. That's just not going to happen. I say by Martin Luther King's birthday.
When's that? That's February.
What? Oh, Reg.
I'll Google it. I'm bad at birthdays.
When is MLK birthday?
I have no idea. On MLK Day. I don't know when it is. I don't know anybody's birthday. Yours is January 30th, I think. I just know that because you won't stop talking about it when it comes around. But I don't know anybody's birthday. I only know my wife's because it's 10 days away, and it takes me a second to think of my own children's birthday. And two of them got the same birthday.
Oh, man, that's hilarious.
I just don't have that skill. Because I love Woman Crush Wednesday, let's listen to one more female voice.
Hey, Jalen and Jacoby. Shout out Red. Shout out the whole crew. My name's Elisa. I'm from Lafayette. My boyfriend's Kenny. He put me on the pod. We listen every night while we have cuddle o'clock. I have two questions for y'all. So my first question is country music cultural? Personally, there's a couple songs that I like, but I would never purchase a country song or download or search for one unless it was for trolling purposes. But I'll leave the final decision up to you guys. My second question is, soft move or boss move? Trying to find something to argue with your significant other about just so we can call into the pod and have Jalen and Jacoby disputed on Tandem Tuesdays. Thanks for everything, guys. Keep giving the people what they want, and Merry Christmas.
All right, well, first of all, as someone who's been in a relationship for 15 years, let me answer the second question. Oh, don't worry. You don't have to come up with something to argue about. That'll happen organically. You might not have it this week, but over the next couple months, something's going to come up. I promise you that. I promise you that.
And also, I think we misinform the people. It doesn't have to be a debate for us to settle. It can also be something positive. Like you just turned the world on to Cuddle the Clock.
I didn't know Cuddle the Clock was a thing.
That's a beautiful thing. We need to hear more.
I call it snuggle time in my house. Snuggle time. Cuddle the Clock is good, though. So, country music is not cultural. It's not cultural. I would say that if you went to a country music festival, you might see more people with my skin tone than Jalen's, but it is not cultural. Who's your favorite country artist?
Here's where we go to the fork. Here's where we go to the fork in the road and you go straight. Okay. Rock and roll isn't cultural.
Nope.
Country music is.
No, I disagree.
And I'm going to stomp you on your own argument.
There's a lot of black people listening to this podcast right now that are upset with you right now.
Reggie, Kylie, don't help them. I want to ask you a question. Name me 3 country music artists that are black.
Darius Rucker. That other guy with the cowboy hat.
That don't count.
And the guy that plays that instrument in that band.
My point exactly. Now name me 3 that are white.
That might be just as hard for me. Not a big country guy. But I'm going to go Garth Brooks. Who's the guy that's always on ESPN? He's in the Peyton Manning commercial. That guy. Brad Paisley and Tug McGraw. Tug McGraw. He either played third base for the Indians or he's a country music singer. One of the two of them. I think Tug McGraw's dad played third base for the Indians. Like Greg Nettles. This show's gone completely off the rails.
Born in the USA.
Wait.
I know who that is. And I know who did Band in the USA, too.
Who sings Born in the USA?
What's his name again?
No, you just said I know who that is. You said I know who that is. I know who that is. I know who that is.
His name escapes me.
Don't tell him in the ear.
Oh, Bruce Springsteen.
Someone told you in your ear. I can tell. Why do they do that? I don't like it when they do that. I don't like it when they do that.
I'll tell you who made. And hey, I bet you can't tell me who made Band in the USA.
Thank you so much for listening to the podcast today.
Luke Skywalker.
Jalen and I will always give you a dope pod to step to. However, we will always put family first. We're going to go through the rest of this week. Jalen's on the show on Thursday. We have some special guests for Friday. And then we're going to go on a brief hiatus and come back strong in 2018. We have some very special things planned for you in 2018. Don't forget, rate us on iTunes. Write a review on iTunes. Tell your friend to subscribe to the podcast. Keep us moving, just like Method Man.
Keep it moving.